Hello and welcome. We are McGraw-Hill Education, and this is a video for parents on how to help your students while they're trying to learn from home in their McGraw-Hill iScience program. So let's give you a little tour of how to navigate to the locations that might help you help your students while they're at home. Now, they either have a username and password that gets them to this page, or a way of getting to this page through the district site. Make sure you ask your students what their username and password is, or how they get to this location where they find their McGraw-Hill Middle School Science program. To enter, I just click on the book, or I can click here, or I can click Launch. I'm going to click on the book in this case, and it'll take me to a site that looks like this. There's an ebook over here to the right, an ebook that students can access anytime, anywhere. So if class sets are what your district uses and the books happen to be on campus and your students don't have a book at home, they definitely have one online, and they can zoom into specific content areas of what they're interested in. They can take a look at the page, they can read it, they can highlight this page. Anything that they can do in a book and even more is available here. Little annotations that they can make to themselves will be on the test. I'll delete that one for now, but I could have posted a new one. I've got an index here that will take me to places in my book, a table of contents, if you will, with hyperlinks. So let's say we're going into the cell, or maybe we were going into from cell to an organism. It will hyperlink me directly to that page. So don't forget the ebook. It's right up here in the upper right-hand corner of the page. But there are resources for each and every chapter and lesson that you might be able to use to help your students while they're working from home. So I go to the menu button in the upper left-hand corner. I click on it. I have a location that all students have called Resources. I click on Resources and choose the chapter in the lesson that students were using when they left school, or what's coming next. And say, hey, what were you in? Oh, you were in the cell, huh? Well, let's take a look at the chapter on cell structure and function. What lesson were you in? And if they don't know, that's fine. You could probably get pretty close. Let's say they were in lesson 2, the cell. Let's take a look at all the resources you have available to you. I've got little videos that will explain the content. I have animations here. We call these brain pop videos. They're available to you with a little quiz. So there's a video and then there's a quiz afterwards that helps students on this topic of cell specialization. Here we have the movie, here we have the quiz. Great resource for your students. Here's a web quest. This is a great activity to do at home. It's a research project. So they go, they read the task at hand. There are research links that will hyperlink them to resources supportive of this task. There's even a rubric so that you know how they're going to be scored. That's a great activity to do from home. As I scroll down here, I've got little self-check quizzes. These are things that will pull up, give students a little hint as to what the answer could possibly be. Let's take a look at that. The structure provides protection. I wonder what that could be. And then there's a quiz at the end so students can check for their understanding. If I scroll to the next page, this PBL icon is a project-based learning opportunity. Again, it's another research project. They're going to engineer a cell, and there is a presentation that they're asked to be able to do at the end. Great project to have your students do from home. Now, there's three ways they can access their content here. There's a reading coach. If I open up that, it's the same content as the book, but a lot cleaner, a lot more accessible. A lot of students that are distracted easily really enjoy the reading coach. Another tool is the reading essentials. It's similar to the content in the book, except it's, again, a little bit cleaner, a little bit different, a little bit more visual. It's a write-in version, so they can highlight and annotate this text. It's a really interesting read that's 2 to 3 grade levels below the textbook itself. So it's more accessible, it's more understandable by more students. And then we have a note-taking tool that's available to all students. Great resource to do from home. Now that's just one of the many resources here in Lesson 2. So I can access any of these. Are there little study guides here? Maybe you want to do a little drag and drop game with your students. We could do that together as a family or as a little learning community at home. I have a e-vocabulary game that I could choose to do. So I have all of these little interactives and print resources that I could use to support my instruction at home. Now, how do I find these? I log in as a student or find how they access this program. I access this program by clicking on the title or the book cover. I either go to the book for support, or I go to Menu and then Resources to drill down into the chapter and then one location within that chapter that I want to find resources for. These resources will be both print and digital to help your students while they're at home. Let's get through this together. We'll be in school before we know it, but we want to keep students engaged. So this is a little tour as to how to find resources on the student side while they're at home with you. If you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're McGraw-Hill Education. We're your partner in this, and we'll get through this together. Reach out to your local McGraw-Hill representative.